Last weekend, Soul Choice was very deserving of her win in the listed Strut Stakes. This weekend, she's looking to back up this impressive performance in the Tasmanian Oaks. Are you confident she can get the job done?
Yeah, she's been very consistent, continues to improve on each and every occasion. Difficult race to get a line on last start with the small field, very tactical affair, but I think she'll handle the pressure of this particular race. I think she continues to thrive down there, so looking forward to seeing her take that next step and hopefully securing a well-deserved Oaks victory.
Rosehill Gardens will host Saturday's meeting in Sydney. Platinum Jubilee will hope to add the Group 2 Silver Slipper Stakes to her already impressive record. How has she progressed since her second place finish in the Magic Millions 2-Year-Old Classic?
She's done very well. She's a very straightforward filly. She's been ticking over nicely. Seems to have sort of really held her form and condition. I thought she trialled up nicely in between the runs. That just really brought her fitness along and got it back up to the levels needed to get her back to the races. So she looks in good shape. She's obviously got the form on the board. So hopefully she can continue on that progression towards the Golden Slipper.
Sacramento ran a credible race first up over 1,600 metres a fortnight ago. He will step up and trip to 1,900 metres in the Parramatta Cup. Are you confident he can fight at the finish here?
He's very much looking forward to getting him over a bit of ground. You saw first up over the mile. He was the first horse to come off the bit, but he stuck on very well and was one of the strongest through the line. So I'd be confident that he's fit and well and looking for this distance range. If he can settle closer to the speed and ride a dictating race, that's certainly going to suit him more than what we saw first up. So expecting a nice improved performance.
Youth Spirit is also a contender for the Parramatta Cup. He was a little disappointing in his first up run, but will appreciate the step up and trip on Saturday. What type of race are you expecting him to run?
It was a very difficult ask for him first up because he got back in a slowly run race. It was very hard for the back markers to get into the race, and most of those were staying tight. So they just lacked the turn of foot that the horses on speed had. I think getting up to the 1,900 metres is certainly an improvement for him. He'll continue to improve as he gets out over further, but hopefully we can see a more genuinely run race this time round and him settling a little closer to the speed. And with all those factors combined, I think you'll certainly see a much improved performance from him.
Crosstalk will return to the races off the back of two impressive trials leading into Saturday's contest. He's set to go first up in the James Roos Benchmark 100 handicap. How has he been since coming back into the stable this preparation?
He seems to be in great shape. Taking a line through his trials, he really looks to be in good order. He's maturing and strengthening all the time. We saw some great progression from him last time going through his grades. So really hoping we can continue to see that from him this time round. We've got some nice targets and some big ambitions for him this preparation. So this is the first step for him. Want to see a nice positive run and certainly seeing him being very competitive here.
For Valor has a couple of options this weekend at Canterbury and Rosehill. He was second last time out and you've given him 3 weeks between runs. Which race are you currently leaning towards?
At this stage, leaning towards running him at Canterbury on Friday. Probably looks to be the most suitable and more winnable option for him. Certainly thought his last start was full of merit. He continues to show good improvement. He was able to control the race nicely there last start. So I'd think a track like Canterbury would suit a horse of his pattern and tactical style. So if he can return to those races with a bit of improvement off his last start, dropping back in class, well, I think he'll prove to be very hard to beat.
Ferretti is the stable's sole runner at Flemington on Saturday. The son of I'm Invincible won his most recent trial and he will return to the races for the first time since June. He will run in the benchmark 84 handicap over 1,200 metres. Is this the optimum starting point for him?
It's a nice starting point for him, but being off the scene for so long, he is a horse that we've seen traditionally takes a little bit longer and a couple of runs before we see him reach his peak. So expecting that this time round once again, particularly just as an older horse. So if I see a nice competitive run from him and a good return, well, I expect him to show good improvement throughout the campaign as we can see him over a little bit further in time as well.
Emerald Cut will make her debut at Gosford on Sunday in the 3-year-old maiden handicap. This daughter of Snitzel won her most recent trial and looks in fine order ahead of her racecourse debut. Talk us through her chances.
She's a nice style of filly, a nice sharp sprinting type. Daughter of Snitzel, yeah, she's done very well in between her trials. Just kept her nice and fresh and going into this particular race. It's a nice kick-off point for her. So really looking forward to seeing her make her debut and getting a good gauge on her going forward.